Chosen one, let me tell you something important. The world has been wrong about you. Everything they said, all the gossip, the accusations, the manipulation, it was all a lie. And now the truth is starting to surface, and people are waking up to the undeniable reality that you are the real deal. You've always known it deep within you, but now the world is catching up. Your power is returning to you, and this time it's amplified. It's irreversible, a divine design that's working in your favor. The recognition that was once delayed is now on its way, and it's happening without you having to lift a finger. What was once hidden in shadows is now emerging into the light, and there's no stopping it. You've weathered the storm, you've faced the lies and the betrayal, and you stood firm in your truth even when the world turned against you. Now everything is changing. People are starting to see things for what they really are, and your foresight is undeniable. They're realizing that you were right all along. The same people who doubted you are now witnessing your rise, and they can't ignore it anymore. It's happening. The recognition, the validation, the acknowledgement it's coming, and it's no longer just a matter of time. It's happening right now. If you're feeling this, if you're resonating with this, I want you to take a moment and let it sink in. You are the real deal. Everything you've been through, all the struggles, the challenges, the attacks, they've all been building you up for this moment. You've already been chosen for greatness. It's in your DNA. You're destined for more than what anyone else ever told you you could be. And now the world is finally starting to see it. You didn't need to prove yourself. You didn't need to fight back. You didn't need to defend yourself when others tried to tear you down. You didn't need to lower your standards to fit into their narrative. All you needed to do was stay true to who you are, keep moving forward, and trust in the process. And now the world is waking up to what they couldn't see before: your authenticity, your strength, your light. And as they wake up, they're starting to connect the dots. The people who once doubted you, who once called you crazy, who once tried to tear you apart, those same people are now seeing the truth. They're beginning to realize that everything you said, everything you warned them about, was not only true, but also inevitable. The lies they spread, the manipulations they used, the attacks they launched, all of it was just a reflection of their own insecurities. They projected their own flaws onto you because they couldn't handle your truth. They couldn't handle your light. And now the very things they said about you, the very things they tried to use against you, are being turned into their own downfall. The people who doubted you are now seeing things clearly. Their eyes are opening, and they're realizing that everything you said was right. They're understanding now that the toxic person they were defending, the person who was attacking you, was never who they claimed to be. The truth always comes to light, and now it's shining brighter than ever before. You didn't need to engage in their drama. You didn't need to defend yourself. You didn't need to stoop to their level. You simply kept being yourself. You focused on your growth, on your purpose, on your divine path, and you let the universe handle the rest. And that's exactly what's happening now. You don't need to fight back because the universe has already begun to fight for you. Divine justice is at work. You are protected in the lies, the gossip, the attacks. They can't touch you anymore. Your energy is too strong for that. Your authenticity is too powerful for that. Your boundaries are too solid for that. And people are starting to see that. They're starting to recognize that you were never the villain in their story. You were never the problem. You were the solution they rejected. You were the light they tried to dim, and now that light is shining brighter than ever. And the more they try to tear you down, the more they try to label you, the more they try to manipulate others against you, the more they expose themselves. The truth is rising, and they can't stop it. Every time they lie, every time they manipulate, every time they attack, they only dig their own grave deeper. The mask they wore is slipping, and people are seeing them for who they truly are. And you're standing tall, unshaken, unbothered by the drama that's swirling around you. Because you know something they don't, the truth always wins. And now the world is beginning to see it. The tables have turned, chosen one. The people who once ignored you, who once walked away from you, who once doubted you, they're all coming back. They're all seeing you differently now. And they're not just seeing you, they're seeing themselves. They're recognizing their own mistakes, their own judgments, their own insecurities that led them to believe the lies in the first place. And that's a beautiful thing to witness. They're waking up, and you don't have to do a thing. Your life, your actions, your consistency and truth is doing all the work for you. People are defending you now, not because you ask them to, but because they see the real you now. They see the authenticity you've been showing all along. They see the strength you've been holding on to, the integrity you've been maintaining, the peace you've been protecting. They see your evolution, and they respect it. They're talking about you in ways they never did before. Words like genuine, authentic, strong, and resilient are now being used to describe you. And this is only the beginning. You're about to rise to heights you never even imagined. People are starting to see the value of your energy. They're starting to see the worth in your authenticity. They're starting to see what you've always known. You are the real deal. And now it's time for you to take that next step. The universe is shifting in your favor, and all you need to do is stay aligned with your truth, keep walking your path, and embrace the elevation that's coming your way. If you're ready to step into your greatness, if you're ready to fully embrace your divine purpose, I want you to comment below and share this message with anyone who needs to hear it. Share it with anyone who's been doubting their own worth, anyone who's been through a period of struggle, anyone who's been misunderstood. This is your season, and it's time to let the world know you're here, you're real, and you're unstoppable. Share this video, spread this message, and let the truth be known. You are the real deal, and now everyone else is starting to see it. So get ready. The best is yet to come. The attacks were relentless. The venomous lies, the manipulations, the twisting of words. It was all aimed at you, the chosen one, in an effort to diminish your light and cripple your power. It came from all angles. People you thought you could trust, people who envied your strength, and those who simply couldn't handle the authenticity you radiated. They saw your light and felt threatened, so they resorted to tactics of emotional manipulation to try to suppress you. The lies they told about you painted a distorted picture, one that made you appear unworthy, dishonest, or even malicious. But none of it was true. Every single accusation was a projection, a reflection of their own insecurities and shortcomings. They wanted to tear you down because your presence reminded them of what they lacked. They feared your strength because it exposed their weakness. They feared your light because it exposed their darkness. They tried to make you believe that you were the problem, that you were the villain in a story that was never yours to begin with. But you knew better. You knew that their attacks were not about you at all. They were about them. They couldn't handle your energy, your authenticity, your unwavering belief in yourself. So they attempted to turn others against you. They spread rumors, twisted the truth, and tried to convince everyone that you were not who you said you were. They tried to isolate you, to break your spirit, to make you doubt your worth. But what they didn't count on was your resilience. What they didn't anticipate was your ability to turn their attacks into fuel. They thought they could destroy you with their lies, but they only helped you become stronger. Every lie they told, every word they twisted, every attack they launched, it all became the wind beneath your wings, propelling you higher. You didn't engage with their negativity. You didn't stoop to their level. Instead, you stayed focused. You used their hatred as motivation to keep moving forward. You understood something they didn't, that their words had no power unless you allowed them to. So you stayed calm, silent when necessary, and above all, you stayed focused on your long-term goals. While they played games and tried to manipulate the narrative, you were building something solid. You were creating a legacy. You knew that the truth would eventually come to light. You didn't need to fight for validation because you understood that authenticity can never be faked. No matter how much they tried to spin the story, no matter how much they tried to tear you down, the truth was always going to rise to the surface. And now, as the dust settles, people are starting to realize just how wrong they were about you. The third party, the one who had once been swept up in the lies, is finally seeing the truth. They are looking at the situation through new eyes, and the realization is hitting them hard. They see now that you were never the villain, that you were never the one who was causing chaos. It was them, the ones who lied about you, the ones who manipulated others into believing their narrative, who were the true culprits. And as they come to this realization, they are beginning to speak up. The same people who once doubted you, the ones who stood by while others tore you apart, are now defending you. They're speaking out, telling others that they were wrong about you, that you were right all along. And this shift, this awakening, is more powerful than any words you could have said in your defense. Because this is not about you trying to prove yourself. It's about the truth speaking for itself. They see now what you've known all along. Your authenticity, your wisdom, your boundaries, they were never wrong. They were exactly what you needed to protect your peace, to protect your power. People are finally understanding that the boundaries you set were not about controlling others or keeping people away for no reason. They were about protecting yourself, about maintaining your integrity, about ensuring that only those who respected you and valued you could remain in your life. And this realization is powerful because it shows just how much growth and transformation has occurred, not just in you, but in those around you as well. They see now that the distance you created was not cruelty, it was wisdom. They see now that the boundaries you set weren't an attempt to isolate or push people away, but rather to protect your own well-being. And now that they understand this, they are starting to respect you more than ever. What was once seen as a flaw is now being recognized as strength. The very traits that were once criticized are now being celebrated. The truth always has a way of revealing itself, and now it is clearer than ever. Your journey was never about pleasing others, about fitting into their expectations. It was about staying true to who you are, even when the world around you was telling you to change. And while they tried to tear you down, you were transforming. While they were focused on their petty games, you were focused on your own evolution. You were shedding old skin, releasing old versions of yourself that no longer served you. What they saw as failure, you understood as a period of divine rest, a time for renewal and growth. You knew that everything you were going through was preparing you for something greater. It wasn't about the attacks, it was about how you responded to them. It wasn't about the lies, it was about how you allowed the truth to unfold. And now you're emerging stronger, clearer, more aligned than ever before. The metamorphosis is undeniable. The person you were is not the person you are today. You've transformed, you've evolved, and you've become exactly who you were meant to be. And the beauty of it all is that you didn't have to fight for it. You didn't have to prove anything to anyone. You simply had to be yourself. And now, as the world begins to see the real you, they are witnessing your strength, your authenticity, and your power. They are seeing you rise, not because of their approval, but because of your unwavering commitment to your truth. The people who once doubted you, the people who once tried to tear you down, are now watching you rise with awe and admiration. And they can't deny it anymore. They can't ignore it anymore. The truth is undeniable. And as they wake up to it, they are beginning to recognize that you were never the problem. You were always the solution. You were always the one who saw through the lies, who saw through the manipulation, who saw through the games. You were always the one who held on to your integrity, your authenticity, and your purpose, no matter what. And now, as you continue to rise, they are starting to see the value in what you've always known. They are starting to see that your boundaries were never about control. They were about self-preservation. They are starting to see that your silence wasn't weakness, it was strength. They are starting to see that your distance wasn't cruelty, it was wisdom. And now, as they awaken to the truth, they are becoming your advocates. They're standing up for you, speaking your truth, and helping to restore your reputation. And this is just the beginning. The more they see, the more they realize just how wrong they were about you. The more they witness your strength, your authenticity, your resilience, the more they come to understand that you are always the real deal. And as they awaken, you are evolving even more. You are growing stronger, more aligned, more focused. You are becoming everything you were meant to be, and nothing and no one can stop that. Your transformation is complete, and now it's time for the world to witness the full extent of your power. And those who doubted you, they're going to have to watch as you rise higher than they ever imagined. They're going to have to watch as you step into the greatness you were always destined for. And as they watch, they'll realize that the only thing they were ever right about was this: you are and always have been the real deal. So, chosen one, keep walking your path. Keep rising, keep shining, keep being unapologetically you. The world is waking up to the truth, and nothing can stop you now. The period of isolation you endured was not a punishment, but a divine preparation. While others believed it to be a time of weakness, it was in fact your period of growth. The silence, the distance, the absence, it all served to build you up, to fortify your spirit and sharpen your mind. In the quiet, while the world continued in its chaotic, judgmental frenzy, you were rooted in your own strength, reflecting and evolving. They thought they could bury you, but instead they gave you the space you needed to rise. The world might have seen it as a retreat, but you were merely retreating into your own power, pulling back to gather the force needed for your next leap forward. And now, as you step back into the light, the transformation is undeniable. You have emerged stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your purpose than ever before. You are no longer the person they tried to define. You are not the one they misunderstood. You are the one who stood the test of time, who weathered the storm, and came out on the other side, not only intact, but elevated. Where they saw defeat, you saw preparation. Where they saw silence, you found your voice. The contrast between you and your attackers is stark. You maintained your composure while they wallowed in their drama. You stayed focused while they were consumed by their own lies. Your calm, your silence, your steady march forward have been the markers of your strength. And while you quietly grew, they spiraled. The attacks they once launched at you have become their own undoing. Their lies, once meant to silence you, have now become the evidence of their corruption. They thought they could tear you apart with their stories, but instead they exposed themselves. As you rose, they fell. The lies they told about you, lies that were once taken as truth, are now unraveling. People are seeing them for what they really are. The fabric of the narrative they tried to spin is falling apart. It's no longer just your word against theirs. The truth is surfacing in the form of personal experiences, direct actions, and the voices of those who have finally seen through the smokescreen they built. And now the world is waking up. They're recognizing that the story you told all along, the truth you stood by, is not only real, but undeniable. The truth always comes to light. The narrative that once painted you as a villain has been replaced by the truth of your character, your integrity, and your strength. And as the lies fall apart, your vindication is happening naturally. You didn't have to fight for it. You didn't have to beg for others to see the truth. You didn't have to launch a counterattack or defend yourself. The divine order, the cosmic justice, has been at work all along. Your reputation is being restored, not because you sought it, but because it was always yours. People who once dismissed you, who once believed the lies, are now seeing the truth. They're coming to you not to apologize, but to recognize the strength and wisdom you've always carried. The whispers of doubt are being replaced by declarations of truth. Your name is no longer synonymous with the lies they spread. Your name is now associated with authenticity, with resilience, with power. And all of this has unfolded without you lifting a finger. Divine justice has worked in your favor. What was once lost has been returned to you, and more is on the way. Opportunities that were blocked are now opening up. Relationships that were broken are now being healed. The universe has seen the injustice done to you, and now it's stepping in to restore what was taken. Your vindication isn't just about clearing your name, it's about the divine correction that's taking place. It's about the cosmic balance that's being restored. What they tried to destroy in you, what they tried to diminish, is now being returned in full force. And with this restoration comes new opportunities, and new beginnings, and new alliances that will propel you even further. You're no longer the one who is underestimated or doubted. You're the one who is recognized, the one who is seen, the one who has earned their place in this new chapter of life. But this rise is not just external, it's internal too. As your reputation is restored, so is your power. Your energy has shifted, and it's now acting as a filter, drawing in those who align with your frequency and repelling those who don't. The wrong people no longer have access to you. They can't enter your space, and they can't disturb your peace. Your boundaries, once seen as limitations, are now recognized as the essential protections they always were. You know who you are, and you know what you're worth. You've built a foundation that is unshakable because it's rooted in authenticity, self-worth, and divine purpose. You've learned to say no, and you've learned to say it with power. You've learned that your time, your energy, your presence are all precious, and you no longer allow them to be drained by those who don't value them. And in this space, in this clarity, people are starting to recognize what you've always known. You are the real deal. They're not seeing you through the lens of their judgments or their insecurities anymore. They're seeing you for who you truly are, authentic, strong, resilient, and unstoppable. They're seeing the truth of your character, the depth of your soul, and the power of your spirit. They're seeing that your boundaries weren't just about protecting yourself. They were about elevating yourself. They're seeing that your self-worth wasn't arrogance. It was the recognition of your value and the refusal to settle for anything less than what you deserve. And because of this, you're no longer relying on external validation. You don't need anyone's approval to know who you are. You don't need anyone's recognition to know the strength that runs through your veins. You don't need anyone's applause to know that you are worthy. You are the real deal, not because of what anyone says, but because of what you know. The truth you've carried all along is now being validated by your own actions, by the way you've shown up, by the way you've lived. And that's the most powerful kind of recognition, one that comes from within. People are waking up to this truth, and as they do, they are beginning to see the contrast. They are beginning to recognize the difference between those who perform and those who are real. They are beginning to see the difference between those who manipulate the narrative and those who stand in the truth. And as they witness this contrast, they can no longer deny it. They can no longer pretend that you are anything less than what you've always been, the real deal. You don't need to prove anything anymore. You've already proven yourself. The world is catching up. Your growth, your authenticity, your strength. These things speak for themselves. And as you continue to rise, they will only become more evident. You are not defined by their judgments, their lies, or their projections. You are defined by the truth that lives inside you, by the strength that resides within you, by the power that you've cultivated through every trial and every triumph. You are the real deal, and now more and more people are beginning to see it. They're recognizing your worth, your value, and your authenticity. And the most beautiful part of all of this, you don't need to fight for it. It's all coming to you effortlessly. The universe is aligning in your favor, and all you have to do is keep walking in your truth. Keep standing strong, keep being authentic, keep honoring your boundaries and your self-worth. Keep embracing your divine purpose. And as you do, everything that was lost will be returned to you. Every lie will be exposed. Every attack will backfire. And you will rise to heights that no one ever expected. You are the real deal, and now everyone else is starting to realize it. As we close this chapter, it becomes undeniable that the true power of the Chosen One lies not in perfection, but in the unwavering resilience, integrity, and authenticity that have defined your journey. You were never meant to be flawless because the very essence of your strength comes from overcoming adversity, from standing tall in the face of opposition, and from remaining true to who you are, even when the world tried to tear you apart. It was never about being perfect. It was about showing up day after day with the strength to continue, with the courage to keep moving forward. The lies, the manipulation, the countless attempts to destroy you, they all backfired. They never stood a chance. Every attack, every accusation, every effort to discredit you only fueled your rise. You may not have seen it at the time, but each obstacle was simply preparing you for this moment, for the season of your elevation. Every lie that was told about you, every false narrative that was spread only made the truth shine brighter. What was meant to break you has only made you stronger. The obstacles in your path have become the stepping stones to your greatness. Now, as the dust settles, it's clear to everyone watching that you are always destined for this. Your rise is not a coincidence, it is divinely orchestrated, and no force can undo it. You are protected by a higher power, a force that stands behind you and ensures your victory. What they tried to destroy in you, the integrity they attempted to tarnish, has only been refined, polished, and made even more radiant. Your divine backing is unshakable. No matter how much they tried to manipulate, no matter how hard they tried to tear you down, they could not touch the core of who you are. Your destiny is secure and it is unfolding before your very eyes. The universe has conspired to ensure that your purpose will be fulfilled, and now you are walking in that divine alignment. This is your time, your season of elevation, and everyone is taking notice. The world is finally seeing you for who you truly are, the chosen one, the one who is unstoppable, undeniable, and destined for greatness. Now, as you stand at the pinnacle of your transformation, there is an invitation for you to continue on this path of divine justice and personal empowerment. This is not just about your victory. It's about embracing the power of transformation and justice in your own life. Your journey is a beacon of hope for those who have been through similar struggles, for those who have been doubted, misunderstood, and torn down. But just like you, they too can rise. Just like you, they can walk into their own season of elevation. The divine justice that has worked in your favor is available to everyone. All it takes is the willingness to step into your power, to trust in the process, and to align with your highest self. If you feel ready to unlock the next level of your divine purpose, I invite you to explore the Destiny Engine, a tool designed to help you rewire your mindset, activate your divine potential, and empower yourself in ways you never thought possible. This isn't just about achieving success, it's about embodying your highest self, stepping into the truth of who you are, and claiming the life that's waiting for you. With the Destiny Engine, you can begin to break through any barriers holding you back and step fully into the abundance, peace, and power that's rightfully yours. Don't wait for permission to rise. Your divine justice is here. The time is now to activate your purpose and step into your full potential. Your season of elevation has arrived, and with it, a whole new chapter is about to unfold. People are already talking about you, chosen one. The whispers that were once filled with doubt and judgment are now filled with admiration, respect, and awe. The world is beginning to recognize your greatness, and the best part is, you're just getting started. Keep moving forward because the journey ahead is filled with unimaginable opportunities. The universe is aligning in your favor, and every step you take is a step toward your inevitable victory. The divine shift has happened. It's already in motion, and it's bringing with it new opportunities for growth, abundance, and elevation. The people who doubted you, the ones who tried to hold you back, they're no longer relevant. What matters now is your focus, your commitment to your own rise, and your willingness to embrace what's coming next. The truth has surfaced. The light has exposed the darkness, and now the world can see what they once failed to see. You are the real deal. Unstoppable, undeniable, and destined for greatness. There's no going back now. The shift is permanent. The elevation is inevitable. You have already won. All that's left to do now is step into the fullness of your power, embrace your divine purpose, and keep moving forward toward the victory that awaits. This is your time, chosen one. You were always meant for this. Your journey continues, and the best chapters are still ahead. You are the real deal, and now the world is finally catching up to the truth. As you step into this next phase, remember that everything you've been through has brought you to this moment. Everything you've endured has prepared you for what's coming. And now, with divine justice on your side, nothing can stop you. Keep shining, keep rising, keep being unapologetically you. Your time is now. Let the world see the greatness that you've always known was within you. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to comment below and share this video with others who need to hear it. Let's spread the message of divine justice, personal empowerment, and the undeniable power of the chosen one. The world is waiting for your light to shine even brighter.